ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chamber of the Wraith. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be tackling the man without time, Geras. Now, I know I said in the last episode that I was going to be doing Liu Kang, but I actually opted instead to do Geras because I want to do something special with Liu Kang. So, Liu Kang is kind of on the back burner for the time being until such time as... well, until such time as I can potentially get the thing that's special to work, or if it doesn't work, then I will let you guys know when Liu Kang is coming. But, until the day the dragon riseth, we gotta do Geras. So, Geras. Time is up, man! And, yeah, we'll just do this one. Excuse me. And then, methinks... the next person afterwards, it should be, because we haven't talked about her yet, Frost. Good old Frosty Frost. And we will do this in the Hourglass. Now, Geras is one of the most terrifying characters in Mortal Kombat 11, and has been for a very long time. The guy's got everything you could ever want in a really strong character. Good buttons, really high damage, and some of the most powerful crushing blows you have ever seen. But until such time as that, we're going to focus on the basic stuff. And, of course, by the basic stuff, I mean we start with buttons that do not have any combos attached to them. So, straight boot, gauntlet slam, chrono kick, time sweeper, pounding sand... oh yeah, he has a unique jump in. Alright, so let's start with knee bash. A 6-frame down 1. This is one of the fastest buttons in all of Mortal Kombat 11. And on flawless block it's -5. And otherwise it's -4. So you're not getting your turn back per se. I guess it's range dependent on whether it's -5 or -4. But a 6-frame down 1 makes for really good punishes and a good excuse to go for it, and then they block, and you throw them. Now, none of Geras' throws have crushing blows, and it's about the only thing that he has that doesn't have crushing blows, but we'll talk about that later. Rising Gauntlet is a 9-frame uppercut with really good range, and this bad boy, of course, will crushing blow, as all crushing blows do. Launching opponents for combos. Then there's, but on block, flawless block is -17, and -7 if you block it proper. Standing boot is a 12-frame high. You're not going to see this too often. It is +3 on block though, so if even on flawless block. So it's +3, so maybe if you really want to try and fish for plus frames, but you'll almost never see this button. Gauntlet Slam is a mid wallop. He doesn't have a low down 3, which is not, which is rare, but not obscenely so in Mortal Kombat 11. And this thing has some unique shenanigans. It's I believe, -7? Yeah, it's -7 on block or flawless block, so it's unsafe to pull this one out. But a 9-frame mid that has a surprising property we'll talk about in one of his competitive variations is worth keeping in mind. And then down 1, or down 4. Down 4 is pounding sand. We'll talk about that later, because we got chrono kick, 15-frame high that is -6 on block, and does 70 damage. So if you were to start a combo, you would use this to extend it for fairly decent damage. Then there's time sweeper, a 14-frame sweep that is -10 on flawless block, and -5 outside of flawless block. Nothing to write home about this sweep, it's just a basic sweep. Pounding sand, though, is a whole different beast. He doesn't offer up his own hurt box when he uses this 12-frame low, but it is -12 on block. So be wary of that. If you're too close to the opponent and use this attack, and they block it, your time is up. Then we have... pun not intended. Time Splash is a unique jumping normal. Now, as a quick review, most characters only have 3 jumping normals. Their jump 1, which is usually good for air-to-air. Their jump 2, which is usually alright, which is usually used for air-to-surface because it does more damage. But, as you can see, it isn't optimal all the time because, at least with Geras it's good, but some characters have a more horizontal down 2. And then they have their jump kicks, which knocks down and can be used to extend combos sometimes, but it's a very tricky prospect. But Geras has a 4th, Time Splash. This thing can kind of cross up, which is weird because you don't really have to worry about cross-ups usually in Mortal Kombat. But because of how wide the range is, the hitbox is basically his whole body, this can be useful for catching opponents that you might miss with your down 2 normally. So just be wary that if you think you're used to seeing him jump in, all of a sudden he might do this instead. Timequake is next. It's a 14-frame short hop attack. That is minus 11 on block, and minus 16 on flawless block. Heavy Knee is much faster. Almost twice as fast, I think. Yeah, it is actually twice as fast. It's literally a 7-frame, but it's minus 12 on block. And gotta get her to flawless block. Oops. There we go. And minus 17, that took way too long. And minus 17 on flawless block. So you're trading range for speed. And this is a direct example of that, because Timequake has pretty good range, as you can see. But the Heavy Knee is a lot faster. Twice as fast, exactly, even. His wake-up attacks are next. First up is Sandstorm, which I just realized I think I picked the wrong sweep for this. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, unless... There we go. We'll do an uppercut instead for Frost, because her sweep doesn't really allow that. Sandstorm is a 10-frame invincible wake-up that resets the neutral, as per usual, but it's AoE, meaning that if Scorpion or Frost... No, Frost doesn't have a teleport. If Cetrion, that's who I was thinking of, were to teleport, then you would still be able to hit them, allowing you to get out of pressure most characters can't. However, if the opponent were to block, it's minus 10, aka punishable. So good, but not broken. And then we have Titan Charge, which has really good range, is 9 frames and launches. In fact, I think it's got such good range I could actually do it off of this sweep. Yeah, because if I were to do this off of Frost sweep, I would miss. But Titan Charge will connect, meaning that if the opponent thinks they've spaced you out smartly, you could remind them that no, they didn't. But Titan Charge is minus 14 on block. And flawless block, of course, makes things even scarier. So be extremely careful with how you juggle your wake-up attacks. But this is one of the few times where I would actually recommend using Titan Charge every once in a while on wake-up, because its range is so good that you could clobber opponents that might think that they're safe. Now, we're going to tag strings. And only the strings that are basically finished. So Sandblaster is out, but Dangerous Chronology is in. Geras doesn't have too many full strings. He's not extremely string heavy like Johnny Cage or Sonya Blade. But the strings he does have are terrifying. Out of Time. That's a 21 frame overhead. It used to be, I believe, 15. So they slowed this way down midway through the game's current lifespan, which I'm recording this on the 3rd of October in 2020. You know, the year of the apocalypse. This is a pretty good ender, to the degree that if you were to land this, Actually, it might be better if I just do this. If you get this, and then just do this, bam, 34% no problem. Or if you just get it off of a simple launcher, there. It's really good because it lasts a long time. The whole string, like if I were to just amplify, that's the only thing though. It's also -7 on blocks. So, yeah, sweet. Just do this. Wait for the animation to finish. We got about half a bar back in all of that time, including if we account for the wait time. So it's actually one of the better strings in general in terms of length, and you can use that length to your advantage in order to get some bar back. This has a crushing blow, and this is one of several strings that has a crushing blow attached to it. All you have to do is have the first hit be that overhead, which might seem pretty easy, just stand block. But Geras always has a low special move that he can throw in there. So, you might not have seen it there, but I could catch her with this, with a 17 frame low for that damage, or catch, let's just say you block this properly, and then, because that way we'll, let's see, 1, 2, 3, grab. You either eat 16.5% or 145. The damage is about the same. But here's the thing. In certain situations, either of these could crushing blow, leaving you with either 32% or the aforementioned 34% if you guess wrong. Out of time is terrifying for this because if you, unless your fuzzy guarding and your ability to read opponents is on point, there's a good chance you're going to get caught by one of these attacks every once in a while. And that could be all that the Geras player needs. Next is Juid and Guid. I think I'm saying that right. It's a stance switch combo that ends with a big boot. Now, you can throw the opponent behind you, leave yourself at restarting the neutral, and have yourself in the corner. Which, if Geras has the corner, is terrifying. However, it is worth noting that this also has a crushing blow at the cost of giving up the corner. If Geras' back ends up in the corner, when... I'm pretty sure it's when... Here, I'll turn off easy crushing blows just to be sure. Yeah. So, the opponent can't be in the corner. But Geras has to be in the corner, basically, in order for this to work. And as far as I know, there's no real way to kind of get this crushing blow to lead into the corner. And I am mistaken. I am mistaken real quick. So if you... So theoretically, you either, as Geras, have to give up the corner, or be in that position, which with the Black Dragon Fight Club is just past the chair, and send them back into the corner. So it's totally feasible to make that work. Oh, wait, I have easy crushing blows on again. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, no, I think Geras has to be in the corner. Boot, and then, let's see. Yeah, Geras has to switch into the corner. I don't know why it, never mind. But yeah, Geras has to basically switch himself into the corner, which, for 29% damage, might be worth it. But it really depends on how you feel about that, because if the opponent's at that full range, certain characters can take full advantage of that. But regardless, Juid and Guid is a really good way to end a combo, especially in the corner. Especially if you want to throw them back in the corner. Or Oops, that was the wrong string. Oh, wait, hold on. Come on. I'm doing it too early, that's why. Oh, almost. There it is. And then you can get a crushing blow. Not really worth it for the damage, but still, you can see where this could come in handy. Next we have the Undying. This is a native low overhead mix-up string, and that's what makes it scary. Yes, both of these have 20 and 23 frames. Also, I forgot to mention. Trying to see. Does this have a flawless block gap? I feel like it should. No, it doesn't. That's weird. That doesn't, though. And the Undying has 2 flawless block gaps in there. So, scary stuff. Anyways, back on track. So, I need to catch up. Out of time on block is -7. With the standing one being -3 on flawless block. And -5. So it becomes less safe as you go. And of course, you can't get the grab ender to come out unless you've already hit the opponent. Jewed and Gooey comes off of a -7 shoulder tackle. If you would stop flawless blocking for us, thank you. And the grab is -14. So if the Geras overcommits to this string, you have yourself a potential punish, because look at how close you are. Most characters should be able to catch this. So if you block a Geras in the mirror match, let's say, you could potentially catch them with a standing one and get your sort of mix going. The Undying is interesting because the whole thing stays at -1, but there's 2 flawless block gaps in there. There's definitely one in the kick, and you can get one, of course, at the start, meaning that you can flawless block at either the beginning or the middle of the string and find yourself in some serious trouble. Standing 2, it should be noted, is -6, and the kick is -4. Next we have Timeless, which is what I pulled in the corner earlier. This is a quick double mid that it can launch, but is better used as a special move cancel, like this. Carry your opponent all the way to the corner with this attack. And in the corner, you can get the stun off no problem. So this is best I personally like to use this when I'm a little past here, and then catch them, run them into the corner for decent damage. And if I get it from about here, I get a crushing blow, because this one is spacing dependent. I'll tell you more about that later. However, Timeless is -9 on block, even on flawless, and the back 2 is -2, even on flawless block. So don't throw this out willy-nilly. Use it off of a confirm. Then we have Master of Time. That looks like a low, but it's actually a mid. Don't fall for this. And this can launch, but it works better as a launcher in the corner. They slowed this way down too. It used to be 19 frames, I think. Now it's 25. And I think they made it that slow to add a flawless block gap in there. Yeah, that's what it is, because then now you have the flawless block gap, and then you can punch this thing. Thudays, although I think, because of how slow it is, there may be a way to actually just straight up punish this thing. Hold on. No, you can't punish it raw like that. It's not like one of Jade's strings where there's a straight up punishable gap. Although potentially you could armor through it. I have not tested that yet, but I leave that testing up to you guys. There's another part of Matter of Time that is worth keeping in mind, at least off the forward two, which is minus 13 on Flawless Block. Oh, it's just minus 13, period. Crazy stuff. Anyway, Dangerous Chronology. Which, interestingly, I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't come out... It doesn't come out unless the boulder hits. But the grab itself is dependent on how you land it. It's fairly spacing dependent. If you counter or punish with this string, you get another crushing blow. So, for those of you at home keeping count, that's 4 crushing blows so far. That's the uppercut, Out of Time, and Zhuid and Guid having crushing blows. That's already more in the base kit than Johnny Cage. I was talking about this earlier with how Johnny Cage got the short end of the stick with these, or with the crushing blows, but Geras sure as hell didn't. And finally, we have Ripple in Time. Comes off of an 11 frame mid that's minus 3 on block. Don't panic about the headbutt. That's actually a mid, and is minus 5 on block. So that's basically all you have to worry about, because Ripple in Time is good for knocking down, because you're at plus 40. And then move in, go for a throw, or dash in once, go for this, which is considered a throw. That kind of thing. Now let's talk about universal special moves, or the special moves that you get in the base kit, which I actually don't have one of them because it got replaced with a version of Down Back 1. But there is a version of Down Back 1 that we have, and we'll talk about it in the first variation. Wait. Okay, yeah, we can't extend that. First up, we have Temporal Advantage. It's a fairly weak special move that is good for closing out rounds and has a fun brutality attached to it. But the key here is to use it to amplify. Because before Kronika's Keep as a stage came out, this had a unique reaction. You do this, and nothing seems to happen, and they just kind of come out of it like, whoa, what just happened time-wise? But, as you can see, they go off of what you last did. So, for these, for instance, or you can mix and match. See that? And it all depends on what you last hit them with. So that's why a lot of the time you'll see Geras do this. And you really only have time for 2. And that way you get pretty decent damage. It's just, the only problem is that the combination of this, which scales pretty freaking hard, and the fact that uppercuts themselves scale pretty hard, means that you're not going to get the most amount of damage just by raw scaling. And that's the move's main drawback, is that the move's damage scaling is not kind to Geras. But since he gets so much damage elsewhere, this is completely acceptable. Because you get this going, catch him with this, run him into the corner, crushing blow. It hurts a lot. Then we have Titan Tackle, which is what I just did. This is a sort of command grab that can be extended. Here's the base range. See, Frost is now in the corner, but I am by the hammer. If I were to extend it a little bit, I'm past the hammer. And if I keep going, I'm well past the hammer, as you can see. I am 2 backdashes away past the hammer there. And if I were to get Frost in the corner with this, let's say I just do the base version, which I think I have to start from here. Now I gotta be even closer. Both of us have to probably be by the hammer. Jeez. Anyway, and go. The move does more damage if you hit them into a corner, which is actually quite good for ending combos. If you can do this. Hold on. Get you in the corner. Come on. Gotta wait a little bit. Oh, wait, does it not? Okay. I guess I have to just do back to this then. Ooh. Oh yeah, and temporal, I forgot to mention this, but temporal advantage is minus 23 on block. That was not legal, but the point is still there. I'll be right back. So that's Titan Tackle. But you'll notice that that a few times I used it as a crushing blow. How do you get it to crushing blow? You have to get it to run the maximum range, which means I have to turn off easy crushing blows to show you. It's about here, I think. You go too far and he just throws you down. But I find that about where Frost is standing between these two circles, which from the start is one full sort of circular length, should be enough. And it's not even that, so 1.5 then. Put you in the middle of that circle. There we go. It's tricky to land because you have to run the maximum extension time before the sand wall forms. And if you're even a little bit too early or too late, you won't get it. But what I find really helps is jump in and catch with this. In fact, you might not even need to jump in. No, you don't. If you... Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it's recommended. Get a little bit of help. Boom. If you happen to be at the start of the round and the opponent is backing up or tries to stay where they are, you can jump in and then do a back 2-2, run into the wall for a crushing blow. It's not the biggest crushing blow combo, but it's still, but opening up with 3/8 of your health gone, almost half, and the potential for more, in 2 crushing blows, you're 2/3 of the way to dead, so it's worth keeping in mind. And finally, we got Big Fist. It's a 70 frame high, 14 frames, and launches. Oh, worth noting is that Titan Tackle being a true throw means it's unblockable, but if they duck, I believe it shouldn't touch them. To very quickly make sure of that fact. Wait, what? It's a mid-throw? Never mind. Or is it because they're blocking? Random off. Nope, it's straight up a mid-throw. That is scary. God damn it, Geras, you got everything. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Because Big Fist is a true high, so stand. This thing is pretty good for ending combos. But this is really most optimally used in variation 2 for reasons we'll get into later. This has its own crushing blow as well. And yes, every single base kit special move that Geras has except for temporal advantage has a crushing blow. That's a total of 6 crushing blows in the base kit. That's twice as much as Johnny Cage has in his base kit. That's nuts. Anyway, so what was I getting at? Or I think it's actually 7 because it's uppercut, 1-1-1 grab, 4-1 grab 4, Juid and Guid, and yeah, it's 7. Wow. Anyway, because the base version of this also has a crushing blow, but I don't have it equipped in this variation. What was I saying, though? Right, Big Fist. This crushing blow is probably the hardest of the base kit ones to get. Tied with the base kit version of the Sand Puddle. in order to get the big fist to crushing blow, this has to counter twice in a row, which can be a little bit difficult to do, but for 240 damage, is it worth it? I think it is. But on flawless block, it's -7, or it's basically punishable regardless, and of course, you can always just duck it and get the uppercut punish. Now let's go into tournament variations, starting with New Era. Oh, that's right. Okay, so ordinarily I would start from the top, but I'm actually going to start from the bottom and work my way up because that is where the last universal move was. Sand Trap, which has a close, which if I go full screen, we have a, are we also set to auto and random? Yes. We have close, mid, far, and full screen. And that's what it looks like. This cannot be amplified just like the other one, but it has 2 crushing blow requirements, just like the other sand puddle thing, which I think is called Sand Trap. Oh no, this is one is called Sand Trap. What's the other one called? I guess we'll find out in variation 2. But if the opponent is stand blocking, which means trying to be ready for this, although they can't really be in block stun, so you kind of have to let go and then try and go for it. Or if this breaks armor, because yes, this is Geras' armor break attack. I did that too early. I did that pretty early. So that was the idea behind this, but you can still get it pretty easily with enough practice. And look at that damage! Or if I do this especially, it should work. Oh, come on. I know I can make this work. Or wait. Yeah. If I do this, and you break away, and I read that, it's super easy! And look! Crushing blow for 36% damage. My goodness. And on its own, if you caught them stand blocking, it's 210. So that gives you an idea as to how strong this particular crushing blow is. But it has a much better version in variation 2, which we'll talk about later. Next we have stepping it back. This is basically an amplify to any of your normal attacks. So turn yourself into a projectile. Recover really quickly from pokes. Because even though it's -9, I've recovered from that. So I can do this, recover, go for a throw. Or I can do okay, I guess it doesn't really work with uppercut though, which makes sense because if you could quick recover from that, that would just be really dumb. But you can recover from just about any other normal if you make a mistake. Like, oh, I didn't want that, rewind, or use yourself as a projectile. The only problem is that it costs offensive meter to do this. And I believe it's worth 2 slots. So you need to be mindful of a little bit more mindful of your meter in this variation than in most, but it still hurts a lot. Then we have Sand Pillar, which is basically a mid version of Sand Trap. And quite a bit slower. Close, mid, far, full screen. And this can launch, especially in the corner, but it's better used if you amplify it. Set up this. Oh, yeah. You see, there's the idea there, and that's probably too far, but and then look, I threw you in the corner off of that one punish. So this is really good for setups or making the opponent scared so that you can come in for a throw. And yes, that did cost bar, but here's the thing. With a back throw at the very least, you get some of your meter back. And if you do a forward throw, you still get that damage. I personally hate that style of what they do, where if it connects, it just goes, it hits you both, kind of. I hate that kind of thing. I wish they had... That's the one thing I hate the most about NetherRealm games, but... Okay, so it doesn't really work with forward throw, but you can make them scared and then hit them with something else, or... Let's see, do this. You see, I hate that. 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 But hopefully you get the idea. You use it for setups for tricky situations or scare the opponent into eating a back throw. Or scare the opponent into trying to dash away and then you hit them with a big fist. Now let's talk about variation 2. The most infamous variation that he has. Infinite Warden. Quicksand used to have a different crushing blow, which I believe was it had to be a counter or a punish. However, they made it stronger while trying to make it worse. The idea was that you had to miss this thing twice in a row, then use it for a crushing blow. But you know what that only did? All that did was allow Geras to intentionally... Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention both of these options are minus 24 on flawless block. Hold on. Hold on. Is it? Oh, so... Come on. There it is. And it's minus 19 on normal block. So it's not safe to just throw this out like that, but if you just throw it out on whiff, you're arguably more safe. Because if you do that, yeah, you're safer this way. And then you can potentially block, and then now I've got it loaded. So what does that mean for you? I could do something like... And I didn't even need to break armor, but I could have. At the very least, once you use this crushing blow, you can't use it again. But still, this is one of those crushing blows that you're almost guaranteed to catch, to get hit by at least once in a match. So be careful with quicksand. Keep an eye on your feet every once in a while, is what I'm trying to say. Next we have Bed of Spikes. This replaces the Titan Tackle and is now blockable. But it does the same damage as a normal throw. But it's minus 17. So what good is this? Titan Tackle already seems a lot better, even if it does a little bit less damage. Well, this can be amplified. And even if you miss, it does more damage. Even if you whiff. But... as you can see, you can use this in lieu of the temporal advantage in order to extend combos. Letting you do stupid amounts of damage. And even if it was just, and even though you can only amplify it once per combo, this still hurts. That still hurts, and I got some meter back over time for that. So, Bed of Spikes is... This is arguably Geras at his best. The only thing is that they kind of made the Big Fist a little bit worse. But at the same time, everything about this version of Geras is better. Hell, let's have Frost zone. Let's have Frost try and zone me out with this, right? Throwing projectiles. That's what everybody hates, right? Well, watch this. Okay, 2, 3. Even if I... Hold on. Try it again. 2, 3. I can just say nope. Do it again. Slipped under it. And you ate almost 32% because you were trying to zone Geras out. And remember, this breaks armor. So, again, using Frost as an example, I can get a crushing blow for her trying to use her fatal blow from full screen. Ridiculous. Finally, we have, in this variation, we have Gauntlet of the Ages, which charges your gauntlet. You can cancel it for free, but it's not a free cancel. You give up your pressure for this. And let's see. If I just wait for the first tremor, any Big Fist attack will now do more damage. That was 50 damage, or 170 damage. And that's for anything that involves the Big Fist. That includes Gauntlet of the Ages History Lesson, the Uppercut, Down 3, and I'm pretty sure there's at least one other option where he uses the Gauntlet, but I can't remember what it was. Just gotta make sure that I'm not crazy here. No, I think that's about it, actually. But that leads one to wonder, well, how high can it go? 1, 2, 3, charged. Now, uppercut's doing 230. 23% for a single uppercut, that's almost double. Remember that down 3 does 20%. Now it's doing 11%. It quadrupled in power. And of course, 160. And this leads into the crushing blow requirement. Be fully charged. And if you're fully charged, next time you go for this, it's a crushing blow for 330. Ouch. That hurts a lot. But of course, we're not done yet, because you're forgetting something. $65% for 2 crushing blows. Usually, you're getting 56%, which is still ridiculous, but you're gaining almost incredulous amounts of extra damage for this. +3 on flawless block. +3 on block, hold on. Okay, it's +3 regardless of what level you're at. Still. Now let's suppose that you get it fully charged. What is the block damage here? 3 instead of... Oh, it doesn't go away on block? What? The buff doesn't go away on... Oh god, this could be ridiculous. No, it doesn't go away until you actually clobber them with the thing. Wait. one last thing, because I am a bit of a lab rat. I have a hypothesis. I'm willing to bet that Gauntlet of the Ages resets after a crushing blow. So if you'll excuse me. No, it doesn't. It does not. So this is one of a handful of buffs that just ignores cinematic events. Oh boy. Yikes. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, for the love of all that is good and holy, if you see a Geras pick Infinite Warden, hold on to your butts. It's gonna hurt. And now it's time for Eternal, which has one of the most unique gimmicks of any character, period. First, we need to talk about the one that's not so unique. Sand Simulacrum. Throw up a sand clone. Teleport to said sand clone. Really good for mobility, and while it phases through things, and while it doesn't really have a wall or anything, as you can see, it's still really good for teleporting because it's still a teleport. The opponent decides to zone, yoink, and you recover quickly enough to get a throw off pretty quickly. But you can also attack with this, launching the opponent. So if I set this up far, I can do this. I don't even do this. Oh yeah, I know what I can do with this. And if they broke away there, I could have caught them with that, and it would have been good night, Gracie. But here's the thing, okay? That's not why I checked out this variation when I was playing Geras. I checked it out because of this. Did you see that? That is called reverse time, which after a short period of time, I think it's about 3 seconds, no matter what you did, you can reset yourself. And what this allows, for instance, is, let's say Frost is doing a very basic combo. Okay? That hurt. I don't want to get hurt like that. So what do? I'm on the ground, so I can't break away. Oh, I think I have to go a certain amount of distance. What do I have in this variation? Sorry, hold on. Oh, I only have core overload. Oh, I know. I know what I can do. Okay, so I went pretty far there. I could break away, but if I timed it better, which I think I can do if I just do. Yeah, so let's try that. Oh. You see that? Now remember, she hit me too. Watch my health. I spent both of my defensive bars, but now I'm all the way over here. She was spent comboing, and what's more, I broke free of the combo. Now this benefits some characters more than others. As you saw, characters that have really long-running special moves can catch Geras out of it. And Geras is fully punishable if he comes out of reverse time. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? Which means that he could get crushing blowed out of that, which means he could get hurt. So there's risk to this thing. But supposing that Frost, for instance, again, I need to find something that. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Yeah. There. That travels quite a far ways. Go. Let's say 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Apparently I didn't start moving there for some reason. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So you have to time it a little bit, but as you saw, I was fully grounded and I managed to escape. Geras gets to break the rules a little bit, and that's what makes him so freaking terrifying. And finally, we have to talk about the bane of many an early MK11 player's existence. The one and only Stasis Assault. This is his fatal blow, and as you know, they can only be accessed at 30% or less. But watch this. 16 frames and about half screen range. Even if you decided to use... This was the classic breakaway killer. Because if you broke away, you were getting hurt. Regardless of what you were doing. Because all he had to do was hit that button, or hit those two buttons, and out you get. And I'll show you properly right away here. All I'm going to do is just do this. Bop. Nope. You're not allowed. You're in for a world of hurt now, lady. Look at that, 56% because you tried to break away. And of course, this can lead to a truly devastating combo. But that's our time with Geras. Next time, we're going to have a look at Frost, and I will try and keep you guys posted on when the Liu Kang special comes out. So, don't forget to be awesome, enjoy this combo, and I'll see you guys on the other side.